It's freezing cold outside and I am shooting 360 video. And this wood is slippery. I have done it. I have taken the leap into 360 cameras, and I have done that with the Kandao QooCam. So let's jump right on into this by seeing what we get inside the box. Once we crack her open, we see the box that contains the QooCam itself. Inside the Kandao box, we find the QooCam with lens cover. Underneath, we find the USB charging cables, as well as a nice soft carrying bag to throw it in. Included with the camera, we also get a small tripod with a GoPro style mount, because if you look at the bottom of the camera, the tripod mount is actually offset. And that is because this whole section here is actually the battery. So by making that a little offset, they can actually make the battery bigger, which gives us a 4-hour battery life with this camera. Now, this again is my first take on 360 cameras, so from what I hear, 4-hour battery life on a 360 camera is unheard of. So that little offset mount, definitely worth it. We have a bonus that I did not see mentioned in any other videos or literature I checked out on this camera. In addition to this being one of the nicest lens covers that I've seen, it fits very nice, and it's kind of gratifying to put on. But if we take a look at the camera, I think we can all see why. It goes back to little boy humor, but we're gonna move past that. The addition is, when we take it off, the groove here fits the base of the camera. So now we have a built-in tripod just with the lens cover. I love when a company just adds these little features like this that just really add to not only the uniqueness of the product, but really the usability. That makes this thing so much more handy. I don't have to carry a tripod with me if I just want to set it down and get a quick shot, because this thing is also a 3D photo camera. That's why there's 2 lenses on the front of this thing. So let's go ahead and get a quick rundown of all of the features of this camera. We have our 2 180-degree 360 lenses, and then once we rotate the camera, we hold it this way, these become a 3D camera. We have our power button that we do a double press on to activate Wi-Fi. We have our trigger, which a quick press will do a photo and a long press will set record. We have our micro SD card slot right here, and we have our charger right here that, if you can kind of see, it pops up, so it's always kind of out, which really isn't a big deal, because once you press it down and you get it all the way in, it's kind of hard to get the little rubber cap back out, which is why I kind of just let it hang out, because now I can't pop it out. But let's get into how this thing operates. Now please note, there will not be any stitched 360 footage from this camera in this video for 2 reasons. I'm still relatively new to this thing, so I don't honestly know how to do all the stitching and get it all together. Also, I can't do a 360 video within a regular video. But talking about the 360 usability of this camera, the included app is pretty awesome. And let's do a quick pop into the app and see what I'm talking about. Once you go in the app, you can see that it automatically stitches the 360 footage all the way together. So you can scrub through it and flip it around and actually see the 360-degree video that you were taking. So you can go ahead and play around with the footage and find the perfect shot. Once you find the shot you want, you can actually export the video directly from the camera to your phone, and you can do this in 2 different ways. You can either transfer it as a screen view, which will pretty much give you the view of one of the camera lenses at a time, or 360 view, which will give you a very wide stitched together version of the 360 footage on a flat plane. Now, once it goes to your phone, you cannot scrub the 360 all the way around like we could do in the app, but you can take your micro SD card, which will now contain all of the images and metadata that you need to stitch it all together to create a 360 video, which you could then upload to YouTube or Facebook from there. But I really love that I can transfer directly from my camera without having to take out this micro SD card. And then I have to not lose this tiny little SD card because these things suck. Once you drop these on a dark carpet, they are gone forever. But what does the image quality look like from this camera? Well, let's take a look. Now this thing really is fun to play with, and honestly, it's super versatile that I can flip it around, and not only is it a 360 camera, but I can also take still images, and you can take still images upright as well. It's really cool. I find it very innovative, and I have been looking at 360 cameras for quite a while, pretty much since Samsung really started pushing them and making them kind of affordable. But this is a little bit more expensive. The Samsung came in at about 300 USD. This is about 400 USD. But for that extra $100, you're getting a big, long-lasting battery, a multi-use camera that has one of the best and coolest lens covers that I've ever seen. There's no clicks that you have to make sure that, like a DSLR lens, that it's on both sides or else it's just gonna pop off. It's strangely satisfying to put on and off. It really works well with the camera. It's on there secure. I don't feel like it's gonna go flying. And again, it's multi-purpose, so now I can just set this camera down and walk away because I don't have to hold it. I don't have to carry the extra offset tripod mount because it came with a little one. And little things like that really make that little extra money totally worth it. So for the extra $100, in my mind so far, this thing is 100% worth it. I mean, it's super sturdy. Ow, that actually hurt my finger when I did that. It feels like it's all machined aluminum. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this whole exterior minus the face plates for the actual lenses, that feels like it's plastic, but the battery housing and then the sides that wraps around, that all feels aluminum. The buttons are plastic, obviously, but it feels super solid, super sturdy. I did drop this the first time I went to use it because it was like 20 degrees outside Fahrenheit and my hands were numb because stupid me didn't bring gloves. And I went to set it down. I went to like kind of toss it into my camera bag, which was like a foot away from me, and I missed and it hit the ground. I had the lens cover on, but it missed and it hit the ground, and I don't even think it scratched it. I'm pretty sure it hit on the lens cap, but I don't even see a scratch where it hit, and it works fine, so it's definitely rugged. And the lens cap did not fall off either, because it's sturdy. I dropped it day one and it kept on kicking, and the lens cap did not fall off. So in my mind, the QooCam, is it worth it? Yeah, I think Kandao did a really good job with this camera, and the app is clutch, because in that app I can go ahead and preview what my 360 footage would look like, so if it sucks, I can just do it again before I have to go home and run it through stitching software and then get it back in and exporting. Like, it just saves you so much time if you can see what your final product might look like before you do all of the legwork to make it. Because if it sucks when you're home, especially if you had to travel to get that shot and now you have to go back because you need that shot, it's definitely awesome that you can just scrub through it on your phone and see what the footage looks like. So Kandao, you did a fantastic job. I did hear that some of the earlier versions of the firmware weren't working very well, but I have not had any issues, so I'm gonna guess that some of the more recent updates were definitely what users were looking for. So I look forward to any more updates on the firmware to see how much more I can get out of this camera, because very stoked on it. going to keep this in my bag because it takes up next to no space. So this will easily fit in my camera bag, and since I use a sleeper camera bag, the camera compartment is not nearly as large as a regular camera bag because half of it is a backpack, half of it is a camera bag. So space is always at a premium, and this is so small that it's going to take up next to no space. I think I could slide it in right next to my microphone, probably even in the same cube without having to rearrange my camera bag at all. So if you're on the fence about the Kandao QooCam, my recommendation is go for it. I'm totally happy with this purchase, stoked on it, and I'm gonna continue to use this thing because it's a blast. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.